questions to ask, right? I campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
We're smiling today. Richard's
We've won a game. We've won a game. We've won a game. We've won a game. I can't believe it. It's April.
I'm still in shock.
April
Put it that
Fools.
way.
It was literally April Fools. If someone was to tell you March 31st, that's on April Fool's Day, where Hodgson will be in charge, we'll win a game, Mateta will get the winner, and I will get the assist.
and we'll score an own goal from a free kick. It just doesn't make sense, does it?
It really doesn't make sense.
And then their right back scores.
We'll get into that. What a goal that was, by the way. This is the Leicester preview. JC, how you doing, my guy?
I am still in shock from what happened yesterday. I'm very happy about the team, and listen, everything that happened yesterday, I'm just gassed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm still in shock now.
No, 100%. I've managed to get my voice back as well, which helps. Chris, I mean, I know how you're feeling.
You won a
now.
game. You won a game. You won a game. Thank you so much. I would never want my team to lose to get rid of a manager, but thank you so much. If I was there, I'd bring over and give you a kiss. Yes, he's gone. Bring in Roy.
Send that kiss JC's way. He wouldn't mind.
What did SA do? Stay away. Stay away.
Jack, how's it going? Wicked vlog, by the way. Checked out a really, really good vlog. And thanks for rating our burgers. Was it 8, 9 out of 10?
An 8.
8 out of 10, yeah.
You know what? It was decent.
Blimey.
Not the best thing all day.
They must be different to the ones they get in the Homesdale then.
Oh, the Homesdale ones are terrible.
They put poison in it just to make me see Palace win.
Lastly, Dan, Statman Dan, how's it going?
Yeah, all good. I've had quite a nice weekend. Watched Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously watched Palace win for the first time since mid-October. And then I had a nice roast today. That was all good. All good.
Happy days.
We got our roasting yesterday, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, Mateta come on and scored. He ain't scored since August.
Do you know what's mad? Jack was saying this for the longest. I bet Mateta scores. And I'm like, he won't even play.
You lot are calling him shit and all sorts.
He is shit.
He is, mate.
That's how bad we are.
No, but I know that
Your shittest player comes on and scores.
you know how dead the touch for
The touch was
a
mad.
player like that,
was
to do a touch
it
like
was
that
a very good
mad.
touch. It was a very
And
good
it's
touch.
prime Trezeguet.
No, but you know what's crazy with it? He came on, yeah, and was doing nothing.
Yeah, he did, mate.
You know what made me laugh so much? You know how he did his little interview at the end? Why is my guy so out of breath? He was on the pitch for like 6 minutes.
Hold on. I don't know how true this is. 1 second. Apparently, Potter's been sacked.
What?
No.
No.
Give me a sec. I'm gonna have to look into this.
Oh my.
Let me have a look. I'm on it as well.
They're interested
Yeah,
in that
he's
former
gone.
Bayern Munich manager. as
Graham
well,
Potter's
Chelsea.
been sacked.
Oh, mate.
You know, nobody can let us have the moment, can they?
No.
You know, it's our day. We've got our manager sacked. Fucking Chelsea have to stick the nose in. And go, oh, typical. in Big Six Club.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a fucking
Imagine-
moment, can they?
Imagine spending all that money on a manager and only giving him what, like 5
Chris, do you
months?
fancy Potter?
Yes. Pop, get in your fucking helicopter, get up. Get down
I'm
to
not-
London. Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, boys. Graham Potter at Palace.
It's not the end of the world.
It could cook, you know.
Well, Glenn Murray cooked for both teams, so why can't a manager?
No, I'm not. I can't have Graham Potter at Palace. I'm sorry. I'm too petty. I'm too petty. I know Glenn Murray. I know Glenn Murray was ex-Brighton, but no, it's I'm too petty. Sorry.
Has he definitely gone?
Yeah.
It looks like it. Yeah.
My
When
God.
when Ornstein's on the job, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Chelsea, get De Zerbi. You know you want to. Go on, lads.
Oh, that'll be funny.
Yeah, he's been sacked. That is mad.
Now, far be it from me to say, linked to any conspiracy theory at all. But, all joking aside, the day we sack Brendan Rodgers, they sack Potter.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. I'll just leave it there. Would you take him, Jack? Let's just take over this show. Bugger Palace. We'll talk about that. Would you take him, Jack?
Yeah, I'd take Graham Potter at Leicester. He'd be a decent manager, I think. I think it'd work for him here.
I think we're more the club he would work at. I think Palace was too soon for him and a step too far, but he can't turn it down when they come knocking.
Chelsea just spend too much money and expect the best.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
guys.
I agree. No, I agree.
Right, let's get back on track here. I know we're both happy, guys, but let's get back on track.
What happy after yesterday, Rich?
Let me just go through a few comments. Just welcome the community. Big up to the chairman. You know what? They say, man, you do this. My internet is so bad, you know. I think it's more so the system.
Let me come back. Big up Hazard. Big up Louis. He went to the game. He didn't come round for no fan cam, so we better be seeing you next game. Big up Bobby. Essex Eagle, 30 shots, 9 on target, 11 blocks as well, so Leicester was struggling. Big up Rich T, the GOAT, Chris, and probably Jack and Dan, now they're in. Is it going to be a call-in? Every reaction has a call-in element, so don't you worry, Pat. Watch match reaction, Chris. Great watch. I watched it as well. I had a good watch for the first 25 minutes because that disclaimer was definitely needed. I thought that was cool. Saw the girl from the upstairs. Why was you walking out?
Oh, sus.
Oh,
Sus.
that's poor from you, Louis. Sutar is giant. Mate, that guy's massive. 5 touches and he scores. Potter to Palace. Potter. Yeah. Big up Jackie. Big up Brush. Everyone saying they'd take Potter at Palace. And as what Brush always says, remember to like, share, subscribe to Eagle-Eyed Football. And, you can subscribe to Leicester as well. Leicester Till I Die. And Jack, I can't remember what your channel's called, but you guys can shout it out at the end of the show.
The final whistle for that.
Feel sorry for us. Give us a sympathy.
Well, we're gonna do that now. That first half, from a Palace perspective, as my girls are practicing their karate and boxing and that, was the best first half of football this season. It was unreal. And you know what was crazy? It wasn't until half time where I checked the stats where it said 20 shots, 5 on target, 4 off target, 11 blocked. I knew you lot had some blocks in. I didn't realize how many. It was literally siege mentality. And honestly, like, to go in at 0-0, I was thinking this is going to be such Palace that we're gonna balls this up, sort of thing. What's your take, JC?
I think I'll go a step further to what you said when you said it's the best first half we had all season. I think it's the best first half we've played since we probably beat Leicester 5-0 last time or 5-1 last time. If I'm really honest, like even under Vieira, I think that we haven't played that well at some point. So I don't know about you guys, but that's probably the best Palace football I've seen in a very, very long time, because just everything about it, we were gunning at 100 miles an hour from minute one. We didn't let up for the whole half, and the only time we let up was the first 10 minutes of the second half when we was feeling a bit sorry for ourselves that Zaha got injured. But they scored. We answered back in about 4 minutes, and I think to take the wind out of their sails so quickly just gave us the momentum back, and it was all our game again. It was complete domination, and there's no other word to really use apart from that. Genuinely, for the best first half, probably one of the best matches I've seen Palace play in 3-4 years. Very, very good performance.
Dan, how about you?
Yeah, I think certainly this season, definitely for best game, to be honest, this season by far. I did wonder which Roy Hodgson would turn up. Would it be 17-18 or 18-19 Roy, or would it be 2021 Roy? And I'm really glad that it was the former, because what it felt like, it was really weird. Well, not really weird, because it was just a demonstration of we've got the attacking players to do things. It's just they've obviously not been told to go about it in the right way. They've been played out of position all season, and finally now they've been played in their actual positions and told to do things that they should be doing, that they are able to all work together really well. And it looked like a lot of the players had their shackles off. Like, it looked like this season felt like Eze had regressed quite a lot. I wasn't that convinced about Elise either this season. Mitchell, we know, also been pretty terrible this season. Schlupp, also terrible this season. But those are 4 players who I thought looked significantly better today than the whole of this season. Even some of the other players who weren't, I guess, in that. Zaha, I thought, had his best game in a long while yesterday as well. Even obviously he came off injured. Edouard, I thought, also had a good game, and obviously Mateta as well. Okay, he didn't do a lot, but he did when it matters. I thought everyone just played so much better.
I think a key point in that is that we did score both goals without Zaha, and I think that's a big upside, because I think that we're not, unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see him again for the rest of the season. But seeing that we can still play as well as we did without him, it just gives me a lot more confidence to how we're going to finish off the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think had Mateta not scored that goal, I would have still been scared of being relegated. But I think that goal was so crucial, not even necessarily just from a points point of view, but I think from a confidence point of view, like momentum, I genuinely think is something so big in football that can never really be encapsulated in points or even or stats or anything like that. And I think a win when you've got a new manager does that momentum so well.
Definitely. From Chris, from a Leicester point, what did you think of the match? Did you think it was that we were good, or was it just that you guys were really bad?
It's never easy to decide. We were awful, I've got to be honest with you. But, the argument is there that you could say that you were that good. You made us awful. And I think there was a lot of that. That first half was probably some of the worst 45 minutes that I have seen us play as a club. And I remember Peter Taylor years, and I remember David Pleat years, and that was up there with it. And I looked at the heat map that I saw at half time. We barely got out of our own half, and somebody said on the watch along, like, well, we're defending well. I went, no, we're bloody not. We're just hoofing the ball out. It was like watching Zulu, the film, and and every time we got the ball out, you just came back at us. It was not, it was like Here or you either give up hope, because we weren't playing football. I've seen my son when I used to coach his team when he was under 11s as one of the coaches. They played better than that. It was absolutely dire. And I said if we won that game, then it would be the biggest smash and grab that the Premier League has ever known. And when we went 1-0 up, I could not believe it. But that was because it was a one-off. That was like 5 minutes that we actually were on top in the game. For the other 80, it was all you guys. And well played. You deserve that. And I know it hurt the way that it came, because I would have taken a point at that stage. But I've got to say, total hands up to you. You totally deserved it.
Definitely. Jack, what do you think?
How do you sum up that? You'd think Leicester were the team who ain't won in 2023. Palace dominated. You've seen the stats, 20 shots to 0. Daniel Iverson kept Leicester in it in the first half. Some cracking saves by him. Like Chris said, we didn't get out our own half. Palace were pressure. Elise, Zaha, Eze. Leicester wouldn't even stick a foot in on them. Every time we cleared it, you came back at us. And, Palace, they put us under some right pressure in the first half and could have got a few goals. If Danny Ward were in goal, you lot would probably have scored 5 in that first half.
No. Come on.
But, second half, we came out in the first 10 minutes. We got a goal through Ricardo, a goal out of nothing. Really, did we deserve to score? Probably not, but we got one on the balance of play. But then, 4 minutes later, Eze strikes one. Iverson touches it onto the crossbar. It goes behind him, it goes in. That look that Palace have needed this year, and they've finally got it. Then we were under pressure again, JC, to be fair. Palace went running at us again. We didn't know what to do. We kept fouling. We were frustrated. You lot frustrated us throughout most of that game, and I think that's what Leicester got most of them bookings for. And then, Mateta comes on, and what can I say? He had a chance where we could have headed it home, and then not long after, about 15 seconds before the game finishes, man scores. And I called it before the game, Mateta will score, and he did. And every Palace fan sat there and said he's one of the worst strikers we've had. He's not good enough. And I said, but you're playing Leicester, and we're one of them teams who strikers like that always come and score against us. And a guy who ain't scored since August, it makes it even more depressing for us that he's actually done it against us. But Leicester always hand wins to teams who ain't won in a very long time. And it's happened again. And we were awful. Palace fully deserved the 3 points yesterday. 31 shots to 3. It really sums it up in your favour, Jason. That could be a massive win for you lot to keep you up.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, as Dan said, that win, as it being the first win for us in 2023, has definitely given us some momentum. And I think right now, if you just go on a little run, I genuinely think that will save you in this league right now. And I think that sacking RODGERS is probably the best thing you guys could have done at the moment. Because let's say if Potter does go to Leicester, I don't see why he couldn't save you. You've seen what he's done at Brighton before. And if anything, individually, he's probably got a better man-for-man team than he did at Brighton, at Leicester right now. But Nate, how you doing? What's your thoughts on the game? Are you happy?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When they went 1-0 up, it was a little bit of a Charity Professional Football Club. Here we go again. Why am I hearing the same script every time? We equalize a few minutes later. I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of similar to Vieira. We'll get a goal back, and then we're going to concede a last-minute winner. And lo and behold, I hear my phone buzz, 2-1 Palace, and I went, surely not. This is a wind-up. Somebody's playing a cruel prank on me. But no, listen, badly needed, especially after everyone's reaction to Vieira getting sacked and Hodgson getting appointed. But listen, Roy Ball done the job. And I never thought I'd be able to say that again, but here we are. But buzzing with that win, badly needed win. But just great to see all the fans with the scarves and everything done for Charlie Ellicott. Obviously, I was watching the fan cams last night before I went to sleep. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't want any more heart attack wins like that because I can't deal with my emotions like that. Last minute winners are great, but how many times have we been on the other end of that? Last minute equalizers, last minute winners. It's just like,
yeah,
we were on the right end of it this time, so that's good.
Yeah, after he scored, he definitely ran over to that corner flaggish trying to catch 468. It was mad.
Rich were dancing on the ceiling when that went in.
Honestly, I was literally crowd surfing, and I lost my voice as well. But what you said was spot on there, Nate. Though, like I would say, minute 50, 60, it went to pot. Like, but then just to see is the jubilation for Mateta to do 130 degrees turn and slot it in, like unbelievable scenes. Literally, like I think I dropped my phone. I only remembered after I just stopped celebrating. It's like I lost where's my phone? So.
But hey, big up Sean, yeah, because his WhatsApp notes in the group chat had me dying. Where he's like, "Where's Nate? Where's Colin? Mateta's the guy." And I'm sat there thinking, big man, you weren't saying this the last 17 other games, bruv. So hold that energy in man. Not like that. It's like when man was missing one-on-one opportunities, he wasn't saying anything. So I'm like, hold up a second, he's your guy, yeah? All right, cool. Say that. But yeah, listen, Rich, I'd say it would have been limbs in the home still because those pictures of you just had me cracking up. I like only Rich could become a meme unintentionally.
Yeah, the duality of men. You really saw the image go from that and then a full 180 turn to the other one, isn't it?
Only Palace does this to you. Right? Any other thing in life, it wouldn't happen.
100%.
And such, but you know what? I think Roy just put a bit of confidence. He just instilled confidence in the boys. You know, you could tell they were playing with a smile on his face. You've probably mentioned this already as I was changing location, but Ebbs was a monster yesterday. It literally like a man possessed to say, listen,
yeah, he flipped a full 360. A full 360 on what he's been doing under Vieira.
Yeah, 100%. You know, like the way he spun, was it Dewsbury Hall?
He nutmegged him, didn't
he? Like he spun 45, gave him a nutmeg. You know, unbelievable scenes. And to be fair to Everson, got all his angles right yesterday. Like he hit save after save after save. Where did you find him, by the way? Because we were used to Ward.
He's had one good game. Let's not go over. Let's calm it down.
Oh, generally, was that his one good game?
No, he did right. He did all right against Brentford as well.
Yeah, but he had nothing to do against Brentford, in fairness. But no, that's only his second game of the season.
So two. Okay.
Yeah, basically when Schmeichel left, Ward and Everson sort of moved up both.
Man, yeah, I'm still happy. Like you know how we was all talking about how we're confident and we're just going off vibes. I think that just really hit home, didn't it? Because everyone was just on it. I think that he let everyone just go out, express yourself for the full 90, and you know what? You could even say it for the full 94 because even up to the death of the game. We were just going for it the whole game, and it was just great to see because normally we just sit off, brick football, low block, We're thinking Roy's coming in, it's going to be the exact same thing. We're going to get draws and 1-0s, but honestly, we should have won about 5-0 just in that first half alone. We just didn't convert our chances at all, and
we should have had 3.
Yeah. I think when we're talking about, I think Jack mentioned the yellow cards. In my humble opinion, as a Palace fan, I don't know about you, Dan, but I think Dewsbury Hall should have got yellowed like in the first 10 minutes of the game, and he was fouling all the time. And Christensen, oh God, where'd you find him? He's terrible.
We brought even Luke Thomas on second half, and Leicester fans are questioning that.
I think you that's what you had sort of you frustrated us so much.
Yeah,
We were grabbing shirts, we were putting arms around your waist.
we couldn't cope with the pressure.
No, Christensen I think had to come off because he was on a yellow card and he was close to getting a red. He was lucky to stay on. So yeah, but that was the effect that you had on us.
That was proper Roybal, you know, because remember, we used to do this a lot of the time with teams that we were like, yeah, we ain't got a hope in hell. Frustrate the life out of them and get in their heads a little bit. And as JC said, Dewsbury Hall, he kind of walked the line yesterday because I was listening to it on the commentary and they were saying if he's not booked within the next 10 minutes, there's going to be murder. And don't get me wrong, Decore was walking the line a little bit yesterday as well. Like, let's be fair. We had a couple of challenges that we could have seen the yellow cards go against us as well. But look, most people, obviously, you know, Jack and Chris are probably seeing the nature of the defeat, but we know how that feels. Like, look at the last minute points dropped at Brentford. We were all sat there going, really? Like, Brentford are a good team, but it's the manner of the draw that peed us all off. Yesterday, they went 1-0 up away from home. They're thinking, bloody hell, this is brilliant. Catch Palace at a great time. We might get the win, sneak away from South London with 3 points. And it went our way. I mean, we look at the game at their place when we were all there. They could have won that game at the King Power. We were awful that day. The best thing about that day was the vlog itself. Other than that, it was like, why did we pay the money to come here again?
Yeah.
It was too hot that day, according to Brendan.
Yeah, I think let's talk about that goal though. It was a well worked goal.
Just before we go into that goal, I just wanted to say, like, I would count, like, over the last 3 months, we've had probably 4 10-minute spells. So it was so good to see yesterday. I would say a bit controversially, but we had 2 50-minute spells. You know. Sorry, go on, JC.
I've got no idea what this guy's talking about. But let's talk about the goal. It was a well worked goal. Obviously, you guys were on top during that part of the game, and I think you could see it from a mile away. We took off Zaha and we put on Ayew, and Brendan Rodgers thought we don't actually need a defensive right back on here anymore, so we're going to change that to Pereira so he can get up the field, and we was not expecting it at all. I think that our left winger, either Ayew or maybe even Schlupp, who was on the left side of midfield, didn't track Pereira as he was going up the pitch. I think Tete came off at halftime, didn't he?
He was poor.
He was dreadful.
I think Barnes.
Man's been dreadful for games.
Yeah, I think Barnes went out wide, hit him with a nice little 10 pass, ran through, and it was a nice first time finish, wasn't it? It really was.
It was a very good finish. It was.
Really whacked it home. And Schlupp let him go, in my opinion. I think that even though he had such a great game, probably got a 10 out of 10 performance for what he's usually doing. Definitely poor from him, but it's a great goal to concede. But I think the best thing about it is we replied so fast.
Yeah, you couldn't even let us enjoy it, could you?
We couldn't, or we was going to lose.
How long was it after? It must have been only what, like
about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
3-4 minutes.
Wow. Wow. I do think it was. I think it was Ayew. You know, that should attract him.
Yeah, because you could see it from a mile away, thinking, "Yo, there's no one tracking the runner."
No one near him, yeah.
And then he was in the box. He had time to take a touch as well. I think he probably had 3-4 touches.
Yeah, I think so. That was a crazy finish though. Fair play. That was a brilliant finish.
Unbelievable shot.
Really, really hit it. 75 miles an hour, easy.
Yeah, it's no way great at saving that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from a Leicester point of view, you were very unlucky with Eze's free kick. You know, but I would say, had it not hit Iverson, we did have about 3 players running into the box for a tap-in. I think it was just Pereira from your side that was defending it, and so that could have gone either way. But the manner in which we scored the last, because you know what, Mateta / Mitchell had a chance just before that, and I thought, yeah, that's it now. Like, it's disappointing because we should have won the game, but we haven't lost. And That's all we said is we must not lose this game, and to get that last chance as well. And like I said earlier in the stream, to have it with Ayew and Mateta involved, it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, definitely. well, Dan, talk to us about how the 4-3-3 actually worked out for us, because I think we sort of played a 4-3-3 /4-5-1 in the game, and it sort of switched and changed, and it sort of really benefited us. Like, how tactically did we shut down Leicester?
In terms of shutting down defensively, like, I'm not gonna lie. When we did the research, I did the research for Tact Eagle. Brendan Rodgers' tactics are terrible. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, I'm shocked I know that there was issues financially, but I'm shocked he didn't go sooner, if I'm to be honest.
I don't think there was, sorry, just to come in on that, I don't think there was problems financially.
Is there not? Was it they were just too loyal?
If Top can afford to pay off £192 million worth of debt and put it into shares, he's not going to bulk at paying a couple of £1 million to Brendan Rodgers for him to walk. I think basically it was just a case, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think it was basically just a case of giving him enough rope, and eventually with that performance yesterday, he hung himself.
Fair enough. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner then in that case, because I watched some of your games back, and it felt like once, if you manage to give your fullbacks the ball, as long as you kind of like went towards them and also cut the passing option out, they would just hoof it long, which I'm guessing back in the day that kind of worked when you had Jamie Vardy, because he was brilliant at doing all that kind of stuff. But now you've got two strikers, at least the ones I've seen play, who don't really want to do that. Like Daka and Iheanacho just don't seem to want to do that.
The reason we were booting it out yesterday was because you just kept coming at us. And we did not, in my opinion, we did not have a chance to sort of do anything with it. It was shit, they're coming at us again. Oh, we've got the ball, because you'd have been a little bit more clinical in your finishing. It would have been a lot more goals, but you were hitting our players, and we were just booting it anywhere to get it out of our bloody area.
But yeah, that was like a general kind of like trend that I saw, and especially with Tielemans out yesterday as well. I thought that was a massive blow for you. Now he's
been shit recently. Well, I think so. I don't know if Jack would agree, but I think he's been shit. I can't wait for him to go.
Finally.
So go on then.
No, I was just going to say, like, I find it so mad because, like, literally, like 2 or 3 years ago, it seemed like we, including myself, would say, like, who are some of the best run clubs in the top flight? You would probably put Leicester in like top 3, and now it just seems like some of your players, you've either got players that don't fit your system, they're far too loyal to a manager whose tactics are dreadful, and or you have players who are just way past it or just don't seem to be playing well. Like Tielemans a few seasons ago was like unreal, and like even before he moved to you, like he was touted as being like the next big thing, and like. Yeah, like it's just great. Oh, like Ndidi's another example. Like a couple of seasons ago, or a few seasons ago, he seemed like he was like one of the best players outside the big 6 or whatever. And now, like it seemed like he was only playing because you didn't have anyone else playing that kind of thing. Like it just seems really bizarre, like what's happened. And then sorry, JC. And like Kasper Schmeichel's another one. Like you let Kasper Schmeichel go.
Oh no, he had to go. He had to go. He was awful last season. He was Dracula. He was scared of crosses. He wouldn't come out for them. I mean, no. I said at the end of last season he had to go, and he did. He did. And I think you can't say he's actually set the world alight at Nice. You know, he's had a bad time there. And a goalkeeper is only as good as the defence in front of him. But you're quite right. Brendan has ruined this club. He's taken these players that 2 or 3 seasons ago were being linked with Man United, with Barcelona, with Real Madrid. Now you're lucky if they'll get linked with Leyton Orient and Millwall. I mean, he has ruined everything for us. And like, I mean, I don't know if Jack will agree with this, but yes, I agree. A couple of years ago, everybody was looking at Leicester as the model that they wanted their club to follow, in the fact of how well run we were. And I don't know, it's completely the opposite. And
you know what? I mean, just on the outside looking in, Chris, 'cause I mean, I spoke to you about this a bit on your stream yesterday. Like, just it looks as if like there's players just that stopped playing for him. Like yesterday, you might well said you may have had a 3-3-3 formation or a 1-3-3 formation. That's how bad it was, you know. Whereas on a Palace point of view, you could definitely say there was 12.
what
players.
formation were we playing, Jack? Do you have any idea? Because I don't think the players did.
Do you know what? Ask Rodgers. Rodgers is one of them for me, Rich. And like I said to you, you know, he's a manager who lacks to inspire players when he goes either drawing games or behind. He needs to. He's always one of them who claps his hands in it and gets the notepad out. I don't know if you guys watched him at the Palace game in the defeat.
Has he got like Mentos? Has he got Mentos in his pocket? Because I've seen him take like two Mentos like every couple of seconds.
I wrote it down, Jack. It was the 65th minute. There was an injury, and Roy Hodgson called the Palace players over and was giving them direction.
He doesn't.
He turned around and put a fucking mint in his mouth.
Probably had about 30. He probably had about 35. Or
I mean,
37.
this is the manager that was outthought by a manager who wasn't even a manager when we played Bournemouth. Now he's been outthought by an OAP that probably had to be wheeled out in a bath chair. Absolutely useless. People want to say, yeah, but he's a good coach. I just looked at it. Someone just posted in my group. There might be a few players that are disappointed, fans that are disappointed to see Rodgers go. No, there's millions of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think one thing that I thought of when we was playing, I think that Leicester have got a very similar problem to Southampton when it comes to like Maddison and Ward-Prowse. Like this season, Southampton are struggling in my opinion because they're playing Ward-Prowse too deep. Like he's not able to get in the game. He's playing in a five in midfield. That's not his game. Whereas with Maddison, they're sort of playing him as like a second striker sometimes when you're pressing and when like in a 2 up front, but then when you're in midfield, it's sort of like a 4-4-2. It looks like you've got him too far up to actually make an impact in the game, similar to how Southampton play Ward-Prowse too deep. But you guys play Maddison too far up, so both those players don't really get to do what they're best at in midfield. Like they're meant to be in the middle of the lines, they're meant to break the lines, good passing, drive with the ball. But it just seems like Brendan Rodgers' tactics is just taking him out of the game, taking him away from what he does best. Like I know he's played a couple of good games out, like I guess up top and out right wing, but that's not where he does his best work. He does his best work in the 10. What do you think, Jack? Do you agree with that, or am I looking wrong from an outsider?
Rodgers is one of them who will put square pegs in round holes. Brendan's frustrated, right? They call him an elite manager. An elite manager is someone who has a plan B, someone who knows how to change things when everything goes wrong. You've got to inspire your players. Like when Eze scored that free kick or whatever, it went down his Iverson's own goal, didn't it? Rodgers has got to call his players across and say, you know what, lads, we're still in the game. We can still get something out of this game. We've got to go for the win here, which he obviously he knew. Maddison, I think he's come frustrated. Maddison's our top scorer. He's our top assister, and he's one of the best midfielders in Europe. If he's played as a centre attacking mid. And Rodgers, I just feel, for me, them players are lacking fight, they're lacking intensity, they're lacking the hunger. He's drained the goodness out of all them players who are good enough and can play at the highest level. And for me, I think he's doing that with Maddison. He's done it with Vardy's just pissed off with Rodgers. I don't think Vardy even likes Brendan. And, you know, you can see the relationship between the players and the manager. It's that far apart. They're not a close-knitted team anymore. It's just like the players have fell out with Brendan, don't want to play your style of football. We're fed up of it. And, Yeah, Rodgers just stands there on his own on the touchline with his hands in his pockets and bloody chews on whatever he's chewing on. It's just madness. And that notepad, I don't know what he writes in it, to be fair, JC.
That's what he
Man
eats.
talks a lot of shit. He even sat there and said, and Rich picked it up on it when he sat there yesterday, Brendan, before his sack, and he said, oh, we didn't deserve to lose the game. We deserve to get something out of it. Mate, you look at them stats to tell me.
I had Lampard vibes. I don't know
it.
about you guys.
Yeah, that definitely had Lampard vibes.
Lucky goal.
He did the same at
Oh,
Liverpool.
go, cheers, go on.
It's obviously someone who he deserved to lose.
It reminds me of that Twitter account. Do you remember it? Deluded Brendan.
Yeah.
That's still going.
Yeah. I just find it mad that he literally finished fifth with you twice, and then like he just seems to have unraveled like over the last I don't know what season and a half or whatever.
I think the thing with any manager, I think they have got a shelf life. Ranieri
is 3 years.
Yeah, his shelf life, Ranieri, was like one season. Then he all started to go wrong wherever he's been. We were told that before he signed by Italian journalists. And when Liverpool fans were telling us, 3 years in it, he'll all go wrong for Brendan. Yeah, bloody has. All right, maybe he didn't get the rebuild that he wanted, but he was just sounding like every other manager at the bottom that is fighting relegation, that knows the time is up.
Chris, one thing he'll always come out with was, it's in our hands. And he'd use that phrase, every game we lose, it's in our hands. How many times are you going to have to come out with that before we're closer to the Championship than we are staying in the Prem?
The guy's a bell end. I mean, I'm sorry. He's worse than something you pick up on your bottom of your shoe in a cow field. And I'm just, yes, he had his moments, and I'll be forever grateful for coming fifth twice, 2 consecutive seasons. European football got us to a semi-final of a European competition. Nearly got us, won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield. Yeah, great. But that was then.
It's now.
And this is now.
Can I just say something, right? Brendan Rodgers has only lost twice at Selhurst Park. Once was yesterday. Can any of the Palace boys tell me when the last time he lost at Selhurst Park was?
The Liverpool defeat.
Yeah, Liverpool, 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sacked him twice.
Well, that when Suarez started crying.
No, that was the 3-3.
Oh, was that the 3-3?
No,
so that was game as well.
But that was a few months before the 3-1 defeat. That was at the end of one season, and this was at the start of the next season. And between then, he had a very good record against us at Selhurst Park where he never lost. And I was just thinking, this is one of them stats that normally bites us in the arse. It's like, oh, look at that. Brendan Rodgers still hasn't lost at Selhurst Park. Luckily, it ended. And luckily for you guys, he's gone because, I mean, we had that with Alan Pardew. At first, it was great. He got us 5th in the table at Christmas. Everything was going smooth. And then it all went Pete tongue. We were like, he's got to go. Newcastle fans warned us. And that's the thing. When you get a manager in that there's an instant impact, you don't really think, is this going to go wrong? And when it does go wrong, you're like, they had a point. Like, remember, everybody in our fan base was defending Alan Pardew to the sword. When Newcastle were like, no, he's rubbish, he's useless, we were like, no, he's not. And then that Swansea game happened, and we were like, maybe the Newcastle fans had a point, actually. So I feel for Leicester because, look, yourselves, ourselves, we shouldn't be in this relegation picture because we're both in the league long enough now to be well-established Premier League clubs and be thinking, we should be doing better than this. But unfortunately, Vieira let a lot of good results slip away from us, and that's why we're down there. But look, I think realistically, there's maybe only 2 more teams that will go down because I think Everton are very much in that mix because they're awful. And if they've been cheating on FFP, they deserve automatic relegation. Yeah. Automatic relegation. I don't care.
I'm going to have to go, guys. I've got some crying to do. I just want to say, good luck for the rest of the season. Well done for yesterday. You were by far the better team, and if that had been a draw, it wouldn't have been fair. You deserved it. Well done. Hope you stay up, guys, and hopefully we're talking to you next season.
Yeah, thanks you too, Chris.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks very much.
Take care, Chris.
Cheers,
Thanks,
mate.
Chris.
Well, before I know we've got some people waiting in the back, but we'll ask Jack one more question before we pull these people in. With your upcoming fixtures of Villa, Bournemouth, City, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, and West Ham, do you think you'll be able to get enough points to stay in the Premier League with your new manager bounce that's going to come?
It's an odd one to say with Leicester. If you've looked how we played this season, if you sat there and said Brendan Rodgers would be in charge now, still, until the end of the season, Leicester fans be like, where's bloody points going to come from? Even Leicester fans were talking about the Championship. It's that bad. They still talk about it now. But I think now we've sat Brendan, we can now, as a team, we've got to galvanise ourselves now for these next 10 games. I mean, we're not expecting anything from Manchester City. Does any team go into Man City, how good they are? And Liverpool are on and off. You can catch them on a off day quite a few times this season in how they played. Newcastle away, very difficult game. They've just beat Man United 2-0. I mean, we struggled against them this season. We lost 3-0. They'll get Champions League football for me, Newcastle. I just feel they're doing all their talking on the football pitch, but we've realistically got to look at games. Wolves, Leeds, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth. They're games we've got to win. But then you've got to look at them teams as well. They're going to sit there and think, you know what, we've got enough battle and enough fight in these games to beat Leicester. But Leicester's got to be in for that battle themselves. And I said this to Rich on my show on Friday night. Leicester's got to show up. They've got to show fight. They've got to show intensity. And they've got to show they want to stay up this season. And the players have now got to rekindle themselves, find themselves again, and really give it a good go. But, yeah, on paper, we should be getting points. But in the Premier League, you never to know, are you, which games you're going to get points out of and which ones you ain't. You can only predict it as a football fan. It's when the game starts and finishes of what the actual scoreline was.
Fair enough. Let me pull the guess in. Hazard, what's your thoughts on the game? Are you happy? You still smiling like us?
So 1 second, Hazard. Guys, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to get ready for Get Up at 9 o'clock. Obviously, the fan calling show. Any fan, any club, call in, talk about your club's weekend performance. Nate. Nah, listen, when JC mentioned the 468, which is your favourite bus reference, we just said, all right, let's see how many other buses we can mention on stream. We kept count. I lost 17-15. Hey, smash the like button and big up Jack. Thanks for jumping on as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get off. All the best for the rest of the season, lads, and hopefully we'll see you in the Premier League next season.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jack.
Jack.
Take care, mate.
Yeah.
All
Thanks
the
for
best,
coming.
boys.
Cheers, mate. You too.
Cool. Hazard, what's your thoughts?
I'm so glad we finally won a game. It's taken us, 3 months now?
It's
3
been
months ago.
Yeah,
One
it's been too
win
long.
against Bournemouth. Yeah. I mean, it's still quite embarrassing that it took us to April to get first win of the year, but I'm just glad the wait's over now.
Definitely. Do you think that the performance warranted the win?
Oh, 100%. I think it's one of our best performances in about, 3 years. Best I've seen us play for so long, and 20 shots in one half. That's mad.
100%. Someone pinched me. I'm guessing that's Pat. Pat, what do you think?
I swear you'll never see this error again. Drink it in. I literally. What the actual heck? the Pro Twister players actually scored a goal. Mind blowing. Crazy.
Well, I tell you what, you call him the Twister Man, but he had a magnificent touch, and tell you what, he took his goal very well. Do you agree? Do you start believing in him in front of goal now or not?
No. Just no. It's he needs to have a group of goals and a consistent amount of goals for me to believe in him.
But for you to then believe in him means that we have to start him consistently then, so he's got chance. Would you start him from now, or would you keep starting Eddie?
Start keeping Eddie. I'd say so. I think Eddie, yeah, definitely Eddie, because I feel like he still has has a better touch. Obviously, yesterday he had a great touch, the Pro Twister player, but I still say Eddie because he's more, in some ways, consistent, if you could say that.
Because me and Dan have already given our player ratings and our thoughts, I thought I'd give the chance for Nate, Pat, and Hazard to give their player ratings before we round off. So, Nate, I'll give you Gaeta.
Couldn't do anything about their goal. Didn't have to worry about too much. So I think anything under an 8 would be a display of service. So I'm going to go 8 for Guaita.
Pat, I'll give you Ward.
Well, I mean, I didn't watch the match because it wasn't on Sky or TV. But I'd say, by the sounds of the chairman, I would give him a 7 because, by the sounds of it, he did better than he actually does usually.
Okay, Hazard, I'll give you both centre backs. I'll give you Gay and Anderson.
To be honest, I don't think in defence they didn't really have much to do because we were just all over Leicester almost from start to finish. But when they both had the ball, I think they were fine, didn't do nothing wrong. I would give them both an 8.
Nate, I'll give you Mitchell and Decore.
Mitchell, I mean, not his worst game, let's be honest. You know, we've been very heavily critical of him this season, but he had a pretty decent game from what I saw of it. I watched some of the highlights back, so okay game. 7. Decore walked the line for a potential yellow card, but look, he's going to do that in the position he plays in, and he's literally been marshalling that whole midfield himself. Again, 7. Don't really think I could go any higher or lower than that, to be honest.
Hazard, I'll give you Schlapp.
I think Schlapp was alright as well. I'd say 7.
Nate, I'll give you Eze.
Eze, the player that has frustrated us the majority of this season because we know how good he can be. But that free kick was fantastic. He ran some of their players ragged. So I'm going to go 8.5. Yeah, 8.5, 8.5.
Pat, I'll give you Wilf.
In the minutes and the duration of what he actually did, I would say a 6. By the highlights, he was quite decent. It was a bit of heartbreak when he came off because I thought, our goal scorer's gone in a way because obviously he's only scored 6 goals this season. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's it.
Hazard, Michael Elise.
I think it was a good performance from him as well. I can't really say I can't really name anyone in the team that actually played badly. I'll give Elise a 7.
And finally, Nate, I'll give you Eddie.
Eddie, I mean, 7. Like I can't because we won and the whole team was playing for that win. I can't really give anybody a low rating. So yeah, I'll say a 7. But he didn't really do an awful lot. But again, you look at the way the game flowed out. Their goalkeeper had to make save after save. So on another day, he could have grabbed maybe 1 or 2. But look, we won. That's all that matters.
Definitely. And Nate, what would you give the rating to Roy Hodgson?
You know what? I wasn't overly thrilled by the Hodgson appointment, so don't get me wrong. I'm still not really happy with the whole sacking Vieira thing, but Hodgson quite clearly has seen what's gone on. Obviously, he's a fan, so he like us would be feeling a certain way about it. But that team selection was spot on. So anything other than a 10 would be an insult. He got it spot on team selection wise, so can't fault him for that.
Hazard, what would you give Roy?
I think he got the tactics spot on. We won, so I would give Roy probably a 10, to be honest. Let's see why not.
Fair enough. Finally, Pat, what would you give him?
I would go for 10 because we actually looked, attacking wise, decent and threatening for once. I'd say, with me looking at the team sheet and seeing Ward and Schlupp, especially Schlupp in the midfield, I was a bit. Oh, I had to keep my hair on. It was. I was a bit anxious, but ends up, Bob's your uncle. We've got a win for once.
Definitely. Alan, man like Alan. Are we getting Rodgers or Potter? Dan, who would you rather?
Who would I rather? I'd rather neither, to be honest. Rodgers, because
I'd rather Fonseca. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah, Fonseca. He's the guy. But they did win today, so they are in the European places. And I think if they get European football, I don't think he'll be coming.
In that case, bring on Addy, innit? But that would be a bit of a mad one concerning his government name. But, if he's a good manager, who cares? Guys, is there anything else we want to touch on in this match reaction?
We want to dedicate the show to Charlie Ellicott, obviously, who passed away sometime last week. I told his father that we'd give his son a shout out. Obviously, the whole scarf thing was for him as well. So this show's been dedicated to Charlie Ellicott, and obviously, rest in peace to Charlie. Massive Palace fan, and obviously we've been following his story quite closely. So, with that being said, JC, let's take it away. Let's end the show there.
Yes, guys, this was the Leicester match reaction. We've actually won a game in 2023 from me, Nate, Dan, and all the eagle-eyed football people. Hazard, Pat, thanks very much for coming on. This is Eagle-eyed football. This is the match reaction, and we are out. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace.
Eagles!